I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay. It's time to live and see the light. Take the time to fight and do what's right. Gotta take it on one step at a time. I'm gonna open my eyes to a brand new day. Open my eyes to a brand new day. Open my eyes to a brand new day.
Over the last 7 days, we've progressed in 2 cup competitions, but tonight it's back to the bread and butter of league action, and our quest, of course, to try and get close to the playoff places. Tonight we face an Ipswich Town team who sacked their manager at the weekend. If we win tonight, we move to within 1 point of the Tractor Boys. Lots coming up in tonight's show. We will hear, as always, from Johnny Jackson, and we'll chat to defender Akinfenwa. We'll also hear from Roger Hutton from the proud Valiants fan group on what is our annual Rainbow Laces match day. And we'll look back at Friday's FA Cup victory up in Gateshead as well. No goal for Curbs, Brownie and I today. Yeah. It was a good call in the end, Curbs, wasn't it? It was a bit wet. But delighted to say joining us in the CharltonTV studio, presented by DNEL Ltd, is one of Curbs' best ever signings.
Holland coming in from the opposite flank. It's Matt Holland who puts Charlton in front again. Flicked in, and it is a goal. It's Matty Holland. Plenty of possession. There's Holland. Shot from Holland. It's a super goal.
The poor ball from Horizon falls nicely for Matt Holland. Oh, it falls very nicely for Matt Holland.
Jensen. It's Stewart. And it's in. Couple of deflections. And Matty Holland is claiming the final touch.
It's a very warm welcome, of course, to Matty Holland. Matt, I don't know why we keep on showing that goal, especially the last one as well.
I think because people always think I score a goal from outside the box. That's just there to say, actually, no, I do get in the 6-yard box as well.
Right place, right time, as always. You're securing your CharltonTV hat-trick tonight.
Yeah.
How much are you looking forward to it?
I am looking forward to this one. Obviously, 2 teams I spent a lot of time at, played lots of, well, the majority of my career at these 2 clubs, 6 years at both of them. So this is a game I've been looking forward to coming to for a long time. Yeah,
we've been looking forward to seeing you as well. Ipswich, as you've just said, of course, a club you know well. Sacking Cookie over the weekend. What's the mood like at Portman Road at the moment?
To be honest, I think there is still a feel-good factor about the place because there's a new ownership come in. There was a lot of changes in the summer. So Paul Cook was able to bring in a number of signings, 19 of them in the summer. So that's a lot of people to try and bed in at once. Well, maybe, but I think it felt like it needed it at Ipswich to sort of refresh, start again this season because it had gone a little bit stale, I felt. The new owners have come in, made those signings, and I think there is still a bit of positivity about the place. But results obviously have got to match that as well, and under Paul they haven't quite done that. What was it, 13, 14 wins in his time in charge in 7 or 8 months that he's been at the club, so not quite enough, and they've obviously decided to make a change, and hopefully that will kick them on and try ultimately to try and get promoted this season and at least try and get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm keeping my jacket on tonight as well because we've got the same
matching
sort of jumper
Curbs
as well.
didn't get the memo.
No, he didn't get the memo. Curbs, Ipswich are one of the bigger clubs in the league, just like us as well. We're 4 points off of them at the moment, but what kind of a statement do you feel it would send out? Do we need to be winning these type of games if we want to get close to the playoffs?
We've got to win as many games as we can to climb up the table, and I just hope Ipswich don't get that new manager bounce. You know, we've seen it with Johnny. You know, will they get a lift? Will some of them players start running a bit more than they have done and playing a bit harder, etc. So I hope that's not the case. But I'm really looking forward to it because I think there is us and Ipswich, there is a little bit going on. You know, it's not a derby, is it? But
it's not quite Charlton Sunderland in terms of the rivalry.
No, but it's not bad. You know, playoff semi-finals and you know, pinching 1 or 2 of their players when they was on hard times, you know, as soon as they get relegated.
I can't believe you did that.
As soon as they got relegated, take that one. As soon as they didn't get in the playoffs, take that one. But no, I've got a lot of time for Ipswich.
Yeah.
And listen, we knew they was going to sell their end out. Yeah. You know, they're going to bring 3,500. So the initiative Thomas has put together, full house again tonight. So it's going to be a great atmosphere. I'm sure we're going to rise to it. I hope Ipswich don't.
We hope they don't. Remember, we can stream worldwide. That includes the UK and Ireland this evening. So if you haven't got your streaming pass, there is absolutely no excuse not to get it. OK, kick-off, less than 45 minutes away. So let's get straight to it, shall we? I spoke to Johnny Jackson a little bit earlier. We haven't got him at the moment. Let's go to the teams then, shall we? As we haven't got Jacko Have a look at what the team. I can tell you, chaps, that it's 2 changes he's made from the game on Friday. Craig McGilvery comes back. No surprises there, though Hendo, to be fair, did play well at the weekend. And Piercy back in as well. He's been a miss in the last couple of league games, Curbs,
Well, that's the area that we're struggling with, haven't we? Injuries, and you know, so it's good to see him back because I thought the way he went off when he got injured, he's probably going to be out a little bit longer. But yeah, it's a strong-looking side again, isn't it? And it's a team that have been playing the same way, the same system, so they all know what they're doing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Have you seen much of Charlton under Jacko?
Bits and pieces. Obviously, the change of shape has helped. I think it's helped Jayden Stockley. The early games in the season, I felt he was quite isolated, and he was winning a lot of balls and he was flicking a lot of balls on, but he didn't have any support. He didn't get people close enough to him. So I think the change of shape has helped him, and I think it's got people higher up the pitch. Alex Gilby, I think, helps in that as well because he's a box-to-box midfielder. He makes those good runs into dangerous positions, gets into goal-scoring areas as well. So it's important that when the ball does go up to Jayden, you get people around him.
We was talking just earlier about change of manager, Johnny Jackson come in, and suddenly players that were out in the cold are in the side. And I'm looking at it now, like Clare wasn't playing, or obviously playing at the back now. Dobson's been a plus. Yep. And it'd be interesting to see. Ben. It'd be interesting to see the Ipswich team if there's many changes from Paul Cook's side. Like some people have come from nowhere and go, oh, great, you know, I've suddenly got a chance now, and give them a bit of a lift. Yeah.
I can tell you there are 5 changes, but we don't want to talk about Ipswich right now. We'll talk about them a little bit later on.
There's 5 changes, is there?
5 changes, yeah.
It's interesting.
OK, we're delighted to say we can now hear from Jacko, who I spoke to a little bit earlier at pitchside. Jacko, good to see you. It's been a while since we've had some league action. How much are you looking forward to the bread and butter of what is a football season?
Yeah, can't wait to get back to it. Obviously, back here as well. We've had a few trips, haven't we, up and down the country since we was last here. So really nice to be back home, back in league action, and hopefully get back on a run.
You certainly have travelled all around the country, haven't you, in the last week or so. Look, another big crowd tonight, another sellout from the away end as well. The fans were brilliant here against Plymouth in our last game. Just how good were they, and how much did they lift the lads?
It was unbelievable. It was. I mean, the place was bouncing. I thought like the way that they got behind the lads really spurred us on. So to see it again tonight will be something special. Obviously under the lights tonight, so a little bit different as well. So really looking forward to it. We loved that game. They helped us get the 3 points, and hopefully they can help again tonight.
Ipswich parted company with Paul Cook over the weekend. Were you surprised about that? Does that affect your planning in any way? Is it a good or bad time to be playing them?
I was surprised, yeah. I was surprised that the Cookie went so soon. Someone I got a lot of respect for, and was disappointed to see him lose his job. And yeah, I think it makes it a little bit trickier with our preparation, because obviously I think John McGrill's taking the team, and we don't know how many changes he's going to make, whether he's going to make changes to personnel, formations, things like that, and how they're going to respond to him as well. So it makes the preparation a little bit more difficult, but we're in a good place. We're confident with what we're doing, and we have to try and implement our game plan upon them.
They were one of the promotion favourites in the summer, and they still are more than capable of going on a good run and getting into the playoffs. So what kind of a statement would it send out if we were to win tonight?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's not about statements. It's just about trying to get back on runs now, and we've won our last 2 here at home in the league. We want to build on that. Ipswich are a good side. We know that. They've got a big squad with a lot of good players. They'll be disappointed where they find themselves in the league, and they'll be looking to build as well. So tonight's a difficult test. We know that, but we have to concentrate on us, what we're doing, and try and add 3 more points.
So how are we lining up tonight?
Tonight, so the skipper Piercy, he's back fit, so he comes back into the side, and Macca comes back in goal for Hendo. So it's 2 changes from the FA Cup side.
Piercy has been excellent, hasn't he, up until the injury?
Piercy's been brilliant for me. Obviously, he didn't start in the first game up at Sunderland, but was on the pitch within sort of 20-25 minutes, and has become a mainstay since. So I think we missed him in those games that he was away. Him and Stockley, I think, we did miss in those away fixtures, certainly. Perhaps it would have been different, but nothing we can do about that now. They're both back in the starting lineup, and they need to step up and be ready.
A final one for the fans who are watching coming into the game tonight. What message would you send out to them?
I just want to thank everyone for their support. The guys that are here, the guys that have travelled up and down the country, and the guys that can't get to come and support us, but are obviously tuning in away. It's a great club with great support, and we want to put on performances that they can be proud of.
Brilliant. Good luck.
Thanks, Scott.
We certainly do. Everyone wants to see that, Curbs. And just on the sort of the special atmosphere that we had with Plymouth, and the next 2 league games were a bit after the Lord Mayor's show, weren't they? With Morecambe and Shrewsbury. Very professional with Gateshead. We'll come on to that in just a second. Is this just what we need against a big club with almost the full capacity here?
Any player would say that, I tell you. Playing in front of a full house, away from home as well, it's fantastic. And I'm pleased for Thomas that he's actually going to see it again. And he can see the potential of the club. You know, he's only ever seen it when we've shown him old footage. You know, he's actually seen it for himself. I think he was impressed with the Plymouth turnout, but I think this is going to be different. There is a little bit going on, as we know, between us and Ipswich.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And I like it when it ends full, because it does give that little bit more of an atmosphere. I'm sure our boys are going to respond as well. So yeah, game on.
What's it like, Matty, playing here, full house?
It's the best, isn't it? I mean, you know, you can't beat. And Jacko actually alluded to it as well. Under the lights, it's different. It is different. No matter what way you look at it, under the lights, it just feels extra special as well. And the noise that they create, it will be a full house at that end as well. So the Ipswich fans will be in good voice. You know, they'll be hoping for a reaction from their team as well. So yeah, playing here in front of a full house under the lights, it's incredibly special.
It is. OK, let's have a look at the league table now, shall we? Unfortunately, we've still got to start with the bottom half. There we go. We're in 15th, level on points with Cambridge, who we play on Saturday. If we win tonight, we could leapfrog Bolton into 14th. Accrington thrashed Fleetwood 5-1 on Saturday to lift themselves to 13th, and that result kept Fleetwood in 22nd. Below them, Donny and Crewe, you have to say, are struggling. Looking at the top half now, and tonight's opponents, Ipswich are 11th. They drew 0-0 at home to Barrow in the FA Cup on Saturday. Rotherham lead the way at the top. They're now unbeaten in 18 matches in all competitions. Wigan and Wycombe both level on points with Rotherham. Wigan have a game in hand. Plymouth in 4th have now lost their 3 league matches in a row, having not lost any of the previous 17 in League One. The first of those 3 defeats, of course, came here at the Valley. Interesting to see, though, Ryan Lowe off to Preston. Matt, you know, Rotherham, they've been promoted or relegated in each of the last 5 seasons, but they look like very strong club in this division, don't they?
I was at Portman Road to watch them against Rotherham recently, and they were streets ahead of Ipswich in every department. They ran all over them. They had a bit of quality up front. There was a bit of steel about them, and they just looked a proper outfit. So they're going to be difficult to catch, I think, from what I saw that evening at Portman Road. So yeah, they're a good side. There's a lot of good sides in this league. There's a lot of big sides in this league. There's a lot of competition in this league as well. So you know, pressure on some of these big teams to try and get towards the top end of the table. But from what I saw of Rotherham, and I spoke to their board afterwards as well, and congratulated on the team they've got put together. And they actually felt that though this was the best team that they've had in recent seasons as well. Even the teams that have sort of gone up previously, they've always felt they've gone up and not quite had enough to stay up as well. This time, they feel as though they've got a team that's ready to go up and stay up in the Championship.
Paul Warne's 5 years in charge now. I think he's done absolutely superb. He didn't want to be manager. He's still moaning when I spoke to him before the game, but it shows how well we're doing at the moment, that he was more than happy, you know, with a draw. If you don't mind, if we just have a look at the top half of the table again, because the top 5, I have to say, Curbs, very, very tight. So realistically, who do you feel can get into the playoffs? How far down does it go? Obviously, it goes to the bottom half because we're not there yet.
Because Matt mentioned earlier that Ipswich at Christmas were third from bottom.
Yeah.
And then, you know, lost 1 game in 20 odd and got in the playoffs.
My first season at Ipswich, when I went there, I think we were 3rd or 4th bottom at Christmas, and we lost in the second half of the season. We lost 1 in 21. So you're asking how far you can go down. You can go down to the second page of that table. Honestly, I do believe that. You know, you say Charlton where we are. Absolutely, there's a chance of putting a run together and getting yourselves, catapulting yourselves at least into the playoffs. As I say, I think the top 2 is going to be difficult to catch. It's a long, long way off, but the playoffs isn't. The playoffs is achievable for any team in that bottom half of the season if they put a run together. And Charlton are a team that are capable of that.
You can't help being amazed at the size of the clubs in this league.
Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, Premier League clubs, you know, Sunderland.
Portsmouth won an FA Cup recently. Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday, Portsmouth, and then when Ipswich, then you go underneath that. Massive clubs.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the league fixtures tonight then, shall we? 10 games in League One this evening, with another 2 taking place tomorrow evening. Cambridge, who we play on Saturday, travel to Cheltenham. Cheltenham 4 points above us at the moment. Portsmouth have won 4 in 5 at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Wednesday weren't in action on Saturday, and Portsmouth beaten at home in the FA Cup by League Two Harrogate. Then you've got third place Wickham. They host Burton. Burton have won the last 2 league matches. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank doing a very good job there. You know, a few of the clubs playing each other above us. So is this a fantastic opportunity, Matty, to really take advantage, to win tonight, but also other clubs dropping points?
I've got to be honest, I don't look at anything else really.
Do you not?
No, I don't think it matters really about what anyone else is doing. I think Johnny will only be concentrating on what his team can do on themselves, and I think he won't look too far ahead either. You know, you're looking at this one first, then you start looking at Saturday, and then the game after that. Don't start looking at January, February, and what other fixtures. Don't ignore that. I think that's my view of it anyway. Just concentrate on what you can do yourselves, and don't look too far ahead. So these next couple of games, you start getting on a run. I think we were talking earlier, and you said they got 14 points from the last 7 games, and they've got to keep achieving that. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
What were you like, Curbs? You know, you might not have said it to the lads, or certainly publicly, but did you think, well, tonight's a great opportunity with other teams?
Games like most people, look at 2 home games. Yeah. You know, if that's 6 points, could be a massive 6 points, but. It's well documented. We took 14 points from 7 games. We need to do that again. Yeah. If we don't do it in these next 7 games, I think it's going to be really tough. Although Matt said, you know, at Christmas you can still do it.
Glass half empty.
No. I just think it's going to be really tough if we can't. We're going to have to, because of our start, we're up against it, and we're going to have to keep going on full throttle. Really, I mean, 14 points from 7 games, championship form.
2 points a game, isn't it?
Championship form.
2 points a game.
We need 12 wins on the spin. It's been done before.
Yeah, it has been done before.
OK, more on tonight shortly, but let's get to club news now, shall we? And as ever, we'll start with home ticket news first. All season ticket holders are reminded that they can redeem up to 3 match tickets for free for Saturday's home game against Cambridge. We want to fill the Valley again, so invite your family, friends, neighbours, cat, dog, whatever, and let's get this place rocking again. Head to booking.cafc.co.uk to redeem yours now. Tickets are also on sale for the match and are priced at just £18 for adults. We're streaming news now, and a reminder that you can watch tonight's game live on Charlton TV anywhere in the world. So if you're watching us on social media and haven't purchased your match pass yet, then you can get yours now. Go to cafc.co.uk, just a tenner. Saturday's game against Cambridge will only be available to live stream outside of the UK and Ireland, and that is of course to EFL broadcasting rules. Well, club news now, and we've been drawn at home to MK Dons in the last 16 of the Papa John's Trophy. The tie will be played at the Valley on the week commencing Monday, January the 3rd. Ticket information will be released in due course. And in the FA Cup, we have a great draw, don't we? Premier League side Norwich will visit the Valley here in the 3rd round on the weekend of January the 8th. Now, most of you won't know this, but the majority of our production company here on Charlton TV are Norwich fans. I'm looking at one behind the camera right now. Matt, we've got to beat them, haven't we?
Not wrong. Not wrong.
Our progression to the 3rd round of the FA Cup also means that our league fixture away at Crewe, which was set for January the 8th, has now been postponed and will be rearranged in due course. Now, we'd like to give a shout out now to members of the International Addicts Facebook group. Some of their members were joined by John Robinson for their watch-along of our last league match against Shrewsbury. As we know, the game certainly wasn't a classic, so I bet they got to experience a few of Robbo's famous moans and groans, eh, Curbs?
Where is he anyway? Oh, yeah.
There he is, moaning and groaning. Please, if any...
He's smiling there, look at him.
Yeah, he's smiling. He knew for the cameras. Look, any overseas supporters at all who would like to appear on Charlton TV and have a bit of fun with Curbs and I, just email fans@cafc.co.uk. We really want to build up our international support. Now, our under-18 secured their spot in the 4th round of the FA Youth Cup on Saturday by thrashing Northampton Town 6-0 at Sixfield Stadium. Daniel Kanu scored a hat-trick, but the pick of the goals was netted here by Tyrese Campbell, just 5 minutes in time, and that was to complete the scoring, so well done guys there. Look, good luck, of course, in the next round. Well, all supporters are invited to donate to Greenwich Food Bank this Christmas and will be able to drop off food items at the Valley on Saturday when we play Cambridge. Greenwich Food Bank will have a van in the West Stand car park from 1:45, and a list of the most in-need foods are available to read on cafc.co.uk. Finally, Saturday is also set to be our annual Christmas Spirit Day here at the Valley, and fans are invited to donate to Charlton Athletic Community Trust to help support their fantastic work in the local area. Last season, CAC spent over £5.3 million in supporting our community, and the value of their work has been even more visible during the pandemic when they supported the local community by making and receiving over 260,000 support phone calls during lockdown, delivering 3,255 emergency food parcels, making over 16,500 emergency service referrals, and providing financial assistance to 385 vulnerable households. CAC's vital work wouldn't be possible without the support of Charlton supporters. So if you're able to, please scan the QR code on screen and make a donation to help CAC support those most in need in our community. Okay, right. Throughout the festive month of December, we have a new feature to run every match day here on Charlton TV. Here we go with episode number 1. Say that, what did you just say?
That's how I feel Christmas Day. I've got my 2 kids coming around with the grandkids. Yeah, we're going to be knackered.
Little Fred will be running around.
Fred will be running around, that's for sure.
Yeah. OK, Curbs, without further ado, what have you got in your Christmas bag of goodies?
Well, firstly, I hope it's 14 points from 7 games.
That would be nice. Just give us 3 tonight.
Right. Do you want me to open it?
We want you to open it.
Right. Oh, they've done it up properly as well.
They have, haven't they? Great paper.
Cool, blimey. Right. Looks something red.
While you're doing that, every match day in December, we'll be taking a look inside Curbs' Christmas bag of goodies, or brownies if Curbs isn't here to promote a different item.
Brownie, I like that.
That is brownie.
That is brownies.
that will be one of Brownie's best ever jumpers. It is a Christmas knitted
Christmas
jumper.
isn't it?
Absolutely. Design is red with white snowflakes, features a big happy reindeer on the front. That's not me. It is priced at £30 and is available in adult sizes, a small to extra large from the Valley
You better be careful where this goes, because you know Brownie, if he sees it, you ain't going to see it again.
If we don't hear him on comms tonight, then we know in the first couple of minutes we know
We'll see him
to nick that. Type of thing you'd wear?
I might have to wear something like that on Christmas Day, because I think the grandkids have got me in it. Well, you've seen the video when they got me sitting in the sand, and I think they've got something planned.
Have they?
Yeah.
What about you, Matt? Are you a Christmas jumper?
I've never have been in the past, but I'm tempted this year. I'm tempted now. I've seen this one. How much is it? 30 quid?
£30.
It's funny, isn't it? Because growing up as players, we was always out Christmas morning, weren't we? Training, come back for the dinner.
It was the best. It was the best. Training Christmas Day, get out for all the madness. When the kids are voting the presents and it's carnage at home.
So get out before the madness, come back home, maybe a dinner, then you have to go to a hotel, just in time for Fools and Horses. Great.
Brilliant. Classic.
Everyone's going, who's that?
Showing your age now. You two ready for Christmas though?
Yeah, well, I ain't got to do much if I'm honest. I haven't got to do much. I've only got to buy for one person, so.
I spent 2 hours putting up Christmas tree lights outside, and apparently I still got it wrong. I've got to do it again. Anyway, we'll be back with the next edition of, and I will say it this one and only time, what's in Curbs' sack. Although it will be brownies when we play Cambridge on Saturday. Weathers are you, of course. OK, right, this evening is the club's annual Rainbow Laces match day, and there will be rainbow corner flags in operation this evening. And tonight's match day programme features a rainbow on its cover. There is also a column inside from Roger Hutton from our official LGBTQI+ supporters group, the Proud Valiants. And I'm delighted to say that Roger joined Charlotte Richardson pitchside a little earlier.
Thanks, Scott. Roger, thank you so much for joining us. First things first, tell us a little bit about Proud Valiants.
Well, the Proud Valiants is the club's LGBTQ+ supporters group. It comprises many people from that community. I'm the ally rep on that in the group and on the committee. They've been tremendously active in Charlton life. So every year we have a football versus homophobia game. This year there's going to be 2, a women's game and a men's game. There's a Charlton versus homophobia tournament. And they're there all year round supporting LGBTQ+ supporters and doing whatever the club wants them to do in terms of wider community engagement.
That's fantastic. And explain to us just how important it is to have such groups affiliated with football clubs.
I think it's really important because if you're LGBTQ+ and you're a huge football fan, it's not always a comfortable place to be. There's still a certain amount of homophobia and transphobia about, and I think our job as a club and as allies is to support our LGBTQ plus friends so they feel comfortable coming to places like the Valley.
Absolutely, and this evening's game is our annual dedicated EFL Rainbow Laces match. Can you talk to us about the significance of hosting such a match for groups like the Proud Valiants?
I think it's hugely important, actually, and I've been looking at the social media feed today around the match, and the positivity that comes out from LGBTQ plus fans, Charlton fans, about today's event, and the fact that Charlton is right behind us as a club, it's immense. Actually, it means a huge amount to the community. So I think the more that there are flags, rainbow flags on corner flags, the more that the club supports this kind of thing, the more positive it is for people out there in the community, and I think for the rest of us, the fact that Charlton and the Trust do such amazing work in the community.
It's really important, and actually I listened to a fantastic interview with Adam Matthews, the first team player on the club's Community Trust YouTube channel. It's really important. He mentioned allyship, you mentioned allyship then. Can you just explain to us a bit more about what that term means?
Sure. So I'm not LGBTQ plus myself, but I feel that you have to be there to stand up for your friends in that community. And I've done a certain amount of this in the workplace. I thought I ought to also do it here in Charlton, the club I love, and that's why I joined the Proud Valiants. I think it helps the LGBTQ plus community to have people out there in the heterosexual community who are kind of islands of support and solidarity on the terraces, online. So allyship for me is about doing what the LGBTQ plus community want of me. It's not about me saying this is what I think we should do for you. And so I think we are there just really as I say, islands of support and I've forgotten what the other word was I used.
No, but exactly that, being supportive and, like you say, in the terraces and around the football community. And for those listening to Charlton TV who would like to become more of an ally, perhaps proactively after listening to you tonight, what advice would you give them and how can they get involved?
So there's two types of allyship. There's a personal allyship, like what I'm doing now, and there's corporate allyship. The personal allyship, there's an article in today's programme, and no doubt it will be reproduced online as well with a contact address. For corporate allyship, just reach out to the Proud Valiants and see what you can do to support us.
And the Proud Valiants have done so much amazing work. What's next?
What's next? Well, I think we just grow and grow, and the more people get involved, the better. Building the membership, more events at the Valley and beyond, and I think it's only a positive trajectory upwards from here on in.
I completely agree with you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Roger. Back to you, Scott.
Thanks, Charlotte. Great to hear from Roger there, and yeah, hearing him talk so passionately about something that he completely believes in and such a great cause as well. OK, Matt, should we talk Ipswich?
Let's talk Ipswich.
We should do, really, shouldn't we, have to say. But you touched on it a little bit earlier in terms of the new owners coming and spent a lot of money. How demanding do you feel they are, and do you feel that Cookie should have been given more time?
Well, there's an expectation level. When you spend money in this division, in any division, those that spend money, I think there's an expectation that you're going to be at the right end of the table. And as things stand, I think up to this point, Ipswich would have expected to have been in at least the top six and knocking on that door at least. And that's not been the case. So, Paul Cook's obviously paid the price with his job. He hasn't had too long to work with the players that he's brought in. A lot of these players have come because of Paul Cook. They've worked with him previously at various football clubs, and maybe he should have been given a little bit more time. But as I say, there's a demand, and as I say, with expectation when you spend money that you're going to be knocking on the door and getting promoted as well. So they felt the change is necessary now to try and facilitate an upturn in fortunes and push towards the playoffs at the very least, I think, for this season. They certainly don't feel as though the season's dead. Feel as though it's retrievable, and that with John in charge for the interim period, and then whoever comes in, they feel as though the squad that they've assembled is good enough to be at the right end.
Yeah, John McGreal, a former teammate of yours, caretaker charge. How do you think he'll change things?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, he's only been in the door at Ipswich a day or so. I think he only took over Thursday or Friday working with Kieran Dyer as part of the under-23s, and he's big mates with Paul Cook, and he's been going to the training ground quite regularly and watching Paul Cook's training sessions. And all of a sudden, he gets a knock on or a call on Saturday night saying, "We've sacked Paul Cook, and will you take interim charge?" So I think he was a bit taken aback when that happened. How will he change it? I'm not entirely certain. I've looked at the team, and I know you said there's 5 changes to the Ipswich side, but there's a lot of those players that have been playing a lot of the season anyway, because it's such a big squad. And
that's from the cup game against Barrow.
That's from the cup game from the Barrow match. But in terms of the league, that's quite similar to the way it's been set up. He might change the midfield, the makeup of the midfield. So Paul Cook had a way of playing. It was 4-2-3-1. Two City midfield players didn't really move from that position, and they stayed in a box with the 2 centre halves. The fullbacks were asked to get forward, and then the 3 in behind Macaulay Bonne. A little bit like Jayden Stockley, I felt at times, Macaulay Bonne got a bit isolated. He's decent in the air, and he wins a lot of headers, but it's important that you get runners beyond him and people around him. And I don't think Ipswich were doing that enough. I think the players in behind Macaulay Bonne, those 3 players, were all happy coming to feet and wanting the ball to feet and wanting to take it in tight areas, but no one was stretching it in behind. There was only really Macaulay Bonne doing that. He might tweak it in the middle of the pitch. 1 holding midfield player and 2 number 8s, possibly. That might be a slight tweak. The way that Paul Cook played, if he does continue that way and he plays with that box, Kane Vincent-Young has come into the side tonight at right back. He's more attacking. Donatien was playing on the right-hand side. It looks like he might move to the left-hand side and Kane Vincent-Young come in at right back. He'll bomb on. He's more of an attacking fullback, but there might be a slight tweak in midfield. That's the only thing I can see, really.
Yeah. Curbs, I want to ask you about Paul Cook and whether he should have been given more time, but in terms of a new manager coming in, Jacko's come and done really well, hasn't he? What do you feel are the important things to do?
What, for Ipswich?
A new manager coming in.
New manager coming in. Well, there's going to be a different atmosphere, and I think that, a new voice. And as I said earlier about our team at the moment, 1 or 2 players that felt that they weren't being given a chance might get given a chance. But we've always seen, it doesn't always work, but we've always seen an upturn, firstly in the work rate, sprinting. I mean, our upturn has been quite incredible in terms of the legwork we've done, especially like closing people down and sprinting. So, yeah, I think they will get a lift. It's up to us. It's up to us to impose ourselves on Ipswich early so they can't get going. And
it's not like the Ipswich players haven't had the opportunity. They've all had opportunity. They've all had game time. They've all had a chance in the first team, and not enough of them have gone, hand up, I'm playing. That's my position. You're going to do well to get me out of the team now. And there's not enough of them done that. Like Macaulay Bonne started the season. He was probably 3rd choice striker, if I'm honest, at Ipswich. But his performances and the way he's played has meant he's become number 1. There's not enough of this team that have put their hand up and said, I'm now your centre, I'm now your centre midfielder, I'm now your left winger. And not enough of them have done that, and they've all had opportunity.
OK, that's enough Ipswich. We've had far too much with Charlton TV now, yeah. Let's have a look back at the game at the weekend. I say the weekend, obviously it was Friday night against Gateshead in the 2nd round of the Cup. And look, Curbs, these games are never easy, are they?
No.
And, non-league players can lift themselves to a game, can play to the standard of League One and perhaps even higher in a one-off game. So our mentality has to be right. To be fair, Gateshead had some chances, didn't they?
Full time as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference when you're playing these so-called
right for Jacko to pick a really strong side.
Absolutely, you had to. I mean, you didn't want to, especially after 2 away games in the league as well. And as he said, I mean, we've had a lot of travelling to do. I'm not too sure. I'm quite pleased we played on Friday because we're getting an extra day.
Yeah.
No, but it was a job that had to be done now. Now, the boot's on the other foot, isn't it, when we play Norwich? Because they've got it all to do. And what sort of side will Dean Smith put out? Because he doesn't want to be knocked out early. But no, we got through it. It was going to be a tricky one. As we say, they created a few chances, but they didn't take them, and that's probably the difference. And we got through.
I like the fact that Jacko's picked a strong team. What are you in these competitions for? Why are you in these? I've watched West Ham this season in the Europa League. David Moyes has picked a strong team in that. So many teams work all season to finish 6th in the league, to then go in the Europa League and then pick a 2nd-string team and get knocked out after 3 games. He's earned the right to now rest players in the last round of the Europa League because they've won the group and they're through to the next round.
But the other thing as well, mate, now we've drawn the Premier League opposition, we're going to sell out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's all new money. That might be the difference between signing someone in the window, where Thomas has suddenly got some more money to spend because it will be sold out.
And players are testing themselves against better opposition. We were talking earlier, myself and Curbs, and I love playing in the Premier League because you're testing yourself against the best week in, week out. Now these boys now have got the opportunity to play against the Norwich side, who've, all right, it's not going brilliantly for them in the Premier League season, but they're a Premier League team, Premier League players, and you have a chance then to go and show that you can do it at that level.
can't believe you said the word Norwich. Being Ipswich, but you managed to do it. We won't tell any Ipswich fans, don't worry. But Curbs, I mean, you'd be disappointed if not every single player didn't go in and say, I want to be playing in the next cup match, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. I think when that draw come out, they've all gone, great. You know, it's a one-off. It's here. It's going to be like sold out, as we said. And as Matt said, there's a chance for a real upset. Yeah. I bet Norwich ain't looking forward to it.
No chance.
You know, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
So can we take advantage? But let's get this week, these next two games. What
was still looking at pictures? What was your mentality in terms of a cup run? Because obviously the league's more important.
Well, it was.
But do you feel that like modern managers nowadays seem to, as Matty just said, you know, play a second string side, don't care whether they win or lose?
We didn't do that. I mean, we never done too well in the cups, but we never did that. We put the strongest side out we could. I think we had a real opportunity at Old Trafford, didn't we? When Schmeichel got sent off to get in the quarter-final, or even better.
0-0 half-time, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think the League Cup one year we knocked Chelsea out of Chelsea and then, you know, didn't progress. But we've never done that well in cups. I don't know why. But as I said, when we're where we are at the moment, like a League One team, that's a payday. Simple as that. And it may be the difference between signing someone and not in League One.
Quarter-final of the FA Cup, losing to Manchester United back in my last season here in '94.
Yeah, replay at Middlesbrough.
That was a money.
We got beat. Yeah.
Okay, Akinfenwa was in action on Friday, playing well at the moment, isn't he? And I spoke to him a little earlier.
So you're all getting your time, Scott.
Those clean sheets have coincided with Jacko becoming caretaker manager. What's he like to play under? What's he changed?
Yeah, he's a great energy to have around the training ground. It definitely gets onto us when we need to have a little hit on the wrist or whatever. But yeah, definitely a great energy, and obviously now he's the main man in charge. He's organised us all perfectly, and yeah, I think it's really showing in our results as well.
So he's gone from good cop to bad cop now, is he?
Yeah, nah, not bad cop, but a firmer cop. But you know, it's what we need. So you know, can't ever complain.
Absolutely. How much are you enjoying playing in a back three? Do you prefer that, or do you prefer back four?
I like both, to be honest. I've played back three quite a bit when I was younger, so used to it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's working, so I'll never complain with something that's working.
It's definitely working. I mean, the ground was rocking here for our last home game against Plymouth. Another big crowd is expected tonight. How much of a difference do the fans make for you in a match?
Makes a big difference. Like, even if it's not me personally, it'll be the person next to you. So like, that saying of the 12th man, it's actually, it's real.
You feel it?
Definitely, man. Like, when someone's about to go through and go, and then the crowd lifts up, you just see like whoever's running, extra bit of pace, extra bit of power just to get through, and their back line gets up. Yeah, man, it makes a massive difference, honestly.
And that's what you're like, chasing a centre forward,
yeah,
just like you're running them as well. Final one, what are you expecting from Ipswich? Like ourselves, very big club at this level, but changed their manager over the weekend, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you can never disrespect another team or expect just because they had a change that they won't be up to it. Because I mean, look, John Jacko first stepped in, we were all at it, so I'm expecting them to be all at it because they want to prove to whoever's next in charge, or even the caretaker now, that they want to be here and they want to fight for their space too. So we're ready for a proper match, and I hope the Valley is too.
You look ready.
Yeah,
all the very best.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
The PA was so loud in the first two questions, so we couldn't broadcast it in the end. But look, I mean, physically, he's got everything you want from a defender, isn't he? What have you made of him?
He's playing centre half as well, isn't he? I mean, he takes a few chances, but he seems to get away with that. But he does like to come out with a ball. I was just thinking that we've been talking about the cut. I wonder if Norwich will let him play.
Good question.
You know, because it's great for him if he can play against them.
Would you if you were?
No.
It's a great experience for him, Curbs.
Yeah, I know. But no, he could haunt you, couldn't he? I don't suppose he's allowed to play, but you know.
In terms of playing in front of a back three, did you used to enjoy that?
Yeah, in front of a back three.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a system we played quite a bit at Ipswich actually, with the back three under George Burley. It was, and we used to have a three-man midfield which rotated quite heavily. It gave me a bit of licence to get forward as well into the box in that system. So I actually it was a system that suited us and the players that we had. In fact, John McGreal was one of those in the back three. He was on the right side of a back three, really cultured footballer. Important that you've got, I think, the two wider centre halves who are good on the ball.
Yeah.
You talk about in there, and now he's good on the ball, likes to come out into midfield
on the other side. He's predominantly a midfielder.
Ball playing as well. I think that's really important if you're going to play a back three, that those two are comfortable on the ball, because they're going to see a lot of it.
Well, I think Matt has been talking about the Ipswich Ipswich midfield, that's going to be a good battle then, because I think the biggest thing that has changed for Charlton is the midfield three. They've been excellent.
Let's have a look at, remind ourselves of tonight's team then, shall we? Just 2 changes that Jacko makes from the game against Gateshead. Piercy comes back and Craig McGilvery as well. As I say, Stephen Henderson had a really good game on Friday, but again, how much importance in terms of that's a very experienced back three. If Sean Clare's not a centre half, Curbs.
Yeah, they've managed to cope, haven't they? I mean, that is the area that's changed, isn't it? Over the last, since Jacko's been in charge, he's not been able to keep it, and obviously long-term injuries.
But Elliot, George, and Alex.
Yeah, it's the midfield three, as Matty said. Gilby is box to box, got a fantastic engine. Dobson's got a great engine and sweeps up, and Elliot can do things in the final third. So they complement each other. 2 wing backs, obviously Jaisimi's, it's not his natural position, but he's given it a go, and Purton's been excellent since he's been back in the side. And it gives us the 2 up top. We've got one that can hold the ball up and the other one who wants to run all day, so it's a good combination.
We had Jaden alongside us, didn't we, for the, what was it, the Shrewsbury game. He was desperate to get back, you could see, and he certainly obviously scored 2 goals against Gateshead on Friday. Let's have a look at the Ipswich team, and Matty, again, you've kind of gone through it for us, but dangers for you.
Dangers
from the Charlton point of view, who do we need to watch out for?
Sonny Aluko's been in good form when he's played on the right-hand side of a front three. Macaulay Bonne has gone through a sticky enough period, not scored many goals in the last sort of 6 or 7 games, but up until that point, you know, he'd been really effective as the number 9. Kane Vincent-Young coming back in at right back, he looked a bomb forward on that right side. George Edmondson's been solid at the back.
Where do you feel then that we can try and find their weakness?
Well, I think, as I say, they'll look to push Kane Vincent-Young on. So I think there might be a little bit of space in behind if he pushes on. The midfield battle's going to be interesting, simply because I don't know exactly how John's going to set it up in the middle of the pitch, whether he will go 2 holding midfield players like Paul Cook was playing, or whether it be 1 and 2 more box-to-box players. You know, I think Sam Morsey's more than capable of playing that, just sitting there on his own, dealing with the threats that come that way, and then asking the other 2 to sort of go and push in a little bit. So, yeah, maybe with Kane Vincent-Young just back into the team as well, and him pushing on that right-hand side, it might be an area to try and get him behind.
Just looking behind me, Curbs, it's not a full stadium as yet. How important is it, though, that the people do come in? You were saying, yeah, your boy came in.
Well, Matt saw the Ipswich people turn up, and they said it just took them 2.5 hours to get here. And there has been talk that there's a bit of congestion outside, and I think it's probably affected us more than the Ipswich fans.
Getting a bit of stick from the Ipswich contingent as well for wearing a red jumper already. I've had a few messages wearing a red jumper. I said I've got blue trousers on. I don't like it.
But that's why I've got a red jumper on. I didn't want anything blue tonight.
But we know that it's virtually sold out, and so unless they're all having their final drink and they're going to come out.
We had that though in the Plymouth game, didn't we? Of course, where people were outside 10 minutes before kick-off, struggling to get in
because probably not used to having a queue. You know, suddenly they've got a queue. Look, the teams are coming out. And there'll be a lot of people stuck outside at the moment.
So what we've got to do, Curbs?
I think it's a Charlton win. We've got to start very purposefully and put Ipswich on the back foot a little bit. But I think if we get our game going, then there's goals for us.
How do you see it going, Matt?
Right, listen, I was in the Charlton TV lounge and asked that same question. Ipswich do score a lot. I think they're the second top scorers this season, but they do give a few goals away as well, so I'm going to go for a 3-3 draw.
3-3 draw. Get those splinters off your backside, please. Listen, it's a big game, there's no doubt about it. 2 teams that's still very much in with a chance of playoffs come the end of the season, but 3 points will go a long way towards doing just that, and only 1 team can get that tonight. Let's get to our commentary team of Terry Smith, Greg Stubley and Stevie Brown.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Curbs. Well, Matt, I'm not sure I can my heart. The old ticker will put up with 3-all, I've got to be honest.
He's got to pull that splinter out, Eddie. He really has got to pull that splinter out.
Well, welcome to the Valley this evening, and well, here we've got 2 teams that would, at the beginning of the season, probably had aspirations for being considerably higher than they are in the table. We've got 2 teams who started with managers at the beginning of the season and have now parted company with those managers, so we have 2 interim managers here at the Valley as Charlton take on Ipswich. And Stevie Brown, in terms of Charlton's interim manager, caretaker manager, call him what you will, it's a case of 2 good cup wins, be wanting to get back on the winning trail in the league, though.
Yeah, I sort of park the cup wins to one side and go back to the 2 away performances. We picked up 1 point from those 2, which just wasn't enough for me. We needed at least to get 1 win and maybe a draw to take 4 points, and then that would have taken the pressure off this